talked a little bit earlier about Perrion Winfrey and him talking about being excited to be Myles Garrett's teammate. Winfrey played nose tackle at Oklahoma because of the defense they played. He talked about how excited he was to go to the Senior Bowl where he could play his true position, which is a defensive tackle as opposed to a nose tackle. Here's Winfrey on that.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to go to the Senior Bowl and be allowed to play more so likely my position or the position that I'm mostly known for playing. So going to the Senior Bowl and finally being able to show people what it looks like when I play three technique and how dominant I can be, that was fun.
So why did you play nose tackle?
Right. So in our defense, we played more of like a 3-4. So we were more like a 3-down D lineman team, and we only had 2 ends, and I was a nose. So it really was no point of having. Like, obviously they knew that I could play three technique, but that wasn't our scheme, so that's just not something we did.
And when you think about that, Tim, that explains why a guy that could be second-round pick, fringe end of the first-round pick, ends up going where Perrion Winfrey did.
Yeah, and it says something. You know, he's pretty unselfish that he's okay with playing multiple roles as he did at Oklahoma. I mean, it's kind of surprising you would see a guy who's sub 300 pounds being a nose tackle. Obviously, that wouldn't happen in today's NFL. You know, the guards and centers are way, way too big for a guy who's under 300 pounds to be a nose tackle. So, you know, I think maybe it goes to the idea of drafting players and, you know, putting them in positions to be successful. That seems like one of the tenets of, you know, good organizations is they don't try to put square pegs into round holes. You know, they take a player, they look at a player, they look at what he can do and give him a role that kind of fits what he's good at. And what we saw from Perrion Winfrey is he is a disruptor. I mean, 11 of his 23 tackles last season were for a loss, so he's at his best when we know he's being disruptive, when he can split gaps in the middle and create a whole bunch of issues for the interior offensive lineman. He's not necessarily a guy that's going to win with sheer size. He's going to win with quickness, with first step, and those different attributes that he has. So Browns don't right now have a true run stuffing defensive tackle, but I feel like, you know, the way they're kind of trying to build this defensive front in the interior, that Winfrey is going to be more of that disruptive guy in the middle who can, you know, create some different angles and try to make it tougher for those interior linemen to block him on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see exactly how the Browns use him and how quickly he kind of assimilates into that defensive line, because there will be a role there if he can do the kind of things that they saw in flashes at Oklahoma. There will be a pretty big role for him.